Hey everyone. So I know some of you are waiting for more Tubular Lock content. I swear it's coming, but life gets in the way. Some of you may have seen me throw a little like preview of this, I think on Insta or something like that. And I was like, oh boy, airports be airporting. And that was definitely the case the other day, right? So I got a story. You could not make this shit up. So I was flying home so Tara and I, you saw us, like, we're in DC at the Pentagon. I was down doing a keynote, finally getting back here. And I'm thinking it's going to be a smooth trip. There's not a lot of funky business going on with the gear and equipment and everything else. But I got pulled at passenger screening. This is in Orlando, it's MCO airport. And, you know, they fart around in the bag. I think, what do I have, like electronics in there? I don't know. And it turns out the screener didn't like this little food kit type thing. It's for eating. Like, if you get to an airport and you like land late at night at your hotel, it's a late hour, so I'll have some cutlery and things. And what she was specifically looking for and took forever to find was my bottle opener. And I was like, bottle opener? Oh, like a wine opener, yes. Wine openers are legal. You can check the TSA website. As long as they don't have a foil cutter knife, this is fine. And she could not find it because I guess she's like, oh, it's hidden. I was like, it's not. This is a regular wine opener. So anyway, she looked at that. She says, okay, fine. And she starts gathering up all my stuff and putting hands all over it. And I'm like, just stop touching my shit, lady. So she starts putting everything away and like, I'll do it. She's okay. And she starts walking away. And I got my cutlery and I go, excuse me, those are mine. I need my possessions back, please. You can't have those. And she said, oh no, these knives, you can't have knives. And I'm like, these are plastic knives. They're explicitly allowed. There is no possible way you could like hurt anyone with this. She's like, well, they're serrated. It's those serrations. Can't have a serrated blade. I'm like, okay. These are like 20 cents each. But I have principles. And I had time before my flight. Almost. Not enough time to do this, but something gets in me. And I said, please get your supervisor. And she went, what? I said, I'll be right here. Go ahead and let's sort this out.
Do you want to check, okay?
Sure enough, she figures it out, goes to get her supervisor, and the conversation that ensued was surreal for all parties. Because as you'll see, like I point out to the guy explicitly on the website, because he's the dude, you'll see his training, he's like, we've been told serrated blades are a no-go. And I said, yes, but the website explicitly says plastic cutlery is fine. Plastic butter knives, rounded butter knives, they're fine. And I said, between you and me and the lamppost over there, like, ain't no such thing as a plastic knife that has ever not had these stupid fake serrations.
How's it going? So I know this is going to sound really silly. Yeah. The thing is that these are serrated, and I know that it's plastic, and that's why I left really quick to go verify and double check. Because it doesn't specify anything regarding plastic, steel, metal. It just mentions serrated.
Yeah. The only advice passengers are given specifically is that plastic round-bladed butter knives are allowed. Knives except for plastic butter knives.
Knives except for plastic.
Because again, they're like $2. It's not
right.
just with a pure piece because every plastic knife. Everyone that exists has little serrations.
Well, I mean, it does say that. That's.
And listen, it's ultimately your call.
No.
It's ultimately your call. I was just really puzzled.
That's. Did you read that? That's the TSA.gov. That's the information that we're giving to them. I do have to read that again because if it is specifying that, and technically,
because there is no such thing in the world as a plastic butter knife that doesn't have serrations.
Right.
So what's your call?
Alright, I'm gonna allow it to go. Can I just run it through the machine?
Go through the machine. Yeah. We're running plastic through the machine to make sure there's no metal inside the plastic. Because I know the best terrorists in the world would 3D print plastic outside of a metal shiv, I guess. At which point the serrations...
They find out that it's cake inside the knife instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
What if there's cake inside that knife?
What if there's cake inside that knife?
We're boarding like now, and I don't even fucking care.
We're boarding.
I don't fucking care. Ultimately, what he did, are you catching this? Ultimately, they decided it's probably okay. I probably wasn't a terrorist trying to bring down the plane with my plastic knives, but they wanted to run the knives again separately in the dog dish, you know, just through the x-ray.
Well, the problem actually was that there weren't enough foreign hands touching all over my cutlery.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get like 3 or 4 more sets of hands on those.
Yeah. What if you get some of the gloves out of the garage?
Gloves that have just been on someone's balls.
Yeah, maybe, absolutely.
You
yeah,
gotta rub them all over my cutlery.
Oh yeah, no problem. Or maybe them gloves that touch
I'm throwing these
all,
away
yeah.
before we even go to the
Oh
train.
my God, you are. Because I may not touch you ever again, much less that cutlery.
All right, put it back in the bag, my friend. And thank you very much for at least showing, you know, because honestly, if that's the information that they're giving you, who am I to go around it? Unless I would have to have a real legitimate reason why I believe, you know, and there really isn't a legitimate reason.
In the end, well, you see what's happening, right? I was given my dangerous knife implements back and praised for my diligence and my research. And this is actually, in a way, you're seeing a couple things in this video. It's funny, but it's valuable. A, because you know how to social engineer people, right? You know this. You don't get angry. You don't become the person they're going to look down on. You always want to be the person that your subject is looking up to. You want to look calm, collected, in control, knowledgeable, and not pushing their buttons. You are pushing their buttons, and you're pushing the agenda that you want achieved, but you don't want them angry at you. You want them angry kind of at the situation, and they want to resolve the situation, and you convince them that your solution is the right solution. Well, yay. Could everyone have done that? I don't know. Again, I'm a walking pile of privilege. I'm a 45-year-old freaking white dude in America, in Florida of all places on this trip, but I didn't want to be. So your mileage may vary depending on how you look. And by the way, just to get ahead of this in the comments, don't be shitty. Don't be racist. Everyone hates the TSA, sure. Don't call them uneducated. Yes, I understand. I was interacting with people who weren't white. That's you're going to hire local people. Don't be racist in the comments, please. Thank you. There's a lot of reasons to be angry at the TSA. That's not one of them. But this could not have gotten better because, like a gift from heaven, as we're walking through the airport, and you heard me, I told Tara, I'm like, well, we're throwing these away. I'm glad I didn't. I went to the men's room, and I was in the gents, and I was washing all my cutlery before I put it back away, but I wound up not needing it on the flight. Not because it was a short flight, it's a cross-country flight, but you know what that means. That means they're gonna serve me food. So I get to end this video in the most hilarious way I can think. So yeah, as predicted, I could eat my steak with the super illegal, dangerous, serrated, in fact, you know, plastic knife that TSA almost didn't let me have. Or I could just go ahead and have it with my metal knife. So yeah, almost took my plastic knives away, and in the cabin, as many of you I'm sure have been in the past, I was handed metal cutlery. Because if it's round tipped, it's considered not dangerous. That's the FAA standard. I don't, envy the people on the front lines dealing with crap after crap after crap every day from a bunch of passengers and a bunch of weirdness. It's not an easy job. It's not a fun job. It's not a job that I think should be done the way we do it. But I'm not going to be mad at the individuals on the front lines who are just perpetually scared to be wrong and lose their jobs. The supervisor honestly was the coolest dude there. You know, he was very nice with me. He was not mean. He was like genuinely interested in resolving the situation and just being a nice guy. I'm really, that's the best kind of interaction I could have had in that situation if I was going to have an interaction at all. In the future, am I going to keep traveling with these? Yeah, you bet your ass I will. I've landed at 2 a.m. in too many foreign airports and wanted to just put a piece of food in my face in the hotel room, and having a pair of chopsticks or, having some knife and fork, it makes a difference. Am I expecting, more silliness in the skies when I travel? Probably. Just it'll be something else. And I'll be here to tell you about it. But I like pushing the margins, participating in society in a way that makes authority figures constantly see someone doing something. It normalizes it. Travel with your med shears. Travel with your plastic knives. Travel and fly with your firearms in checked bags. Keep these kind of behaviors normalized and keep the system flexible enough so that your fellow citizens who go around the airports maybe don't get met with as much skepticism because it's just considered normal to do this kind of stuff. That's the way I look at it. Maybe the way you all look at it is that I bring a bunch of problems on myself, but I'm doing it for you. At least that's what I say to me. One way or another, in the sky, on the ground, in the water, you name it, just do your best to stay safe out there, okay?